Last week on Gleeboot, it was the Christmas special, and so much happened, yet so little. But Damien McGinty did say beguiling chapeau, as the French would say. He was kidnapped by Santa Claus, and a priest hit someone with a giant candy cane. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Ah, yes. What was that movie called again?
Santa
Fake. Although yes. I have to say, I don't like Christmas movies unless it's like the good stuff that's come out. I say like good stuff in quotes. Like Die Hard. I actually should watch it. Nightmare Before Christmas. Switch. Princess, not familiar. Never going to be familiar.
I still haven't seen the third one. I want them to keep making more until Vanessa Hudgens is playing an entire kingdom.
I was going to say, you're talking about the Vanessa Hudgens one. But I was watching, probably just YouTube, and a commercial for an Amazon original came on, and who would be starring in it except for Brody of Glee season 4. And I was like, okay, here's the premise. That would never happen. Or actually, it might be one of those weird things that could happen. But anyway, this woman and Brody both buy a house at the exact same time. And it's basically like squatters' rights. Like whoever leaves the first is like the person who loses the property. The person who stays gets to keep it.
So they buy the same house?
Yes. Both offers are accepted. This would never happen, right?
No,
like legally.
This is a legal mess.
But, so basically, it's just a love story in which they're forced to stay in this house together. They both try to bring their families to try to shoo the other person out and like annoy them to get them to leave so they can have the property. And I was like, I have to watch this. Like, this looks like absolute garbage. And from what I understand, there are no musical numbers. And I was like, okay, I might be able to do this. So I might be watching that and reporting back after the first of the year. But also, Alyssa, I think will find this a good, is that I actually have been itching to watch the movie that you showed me. Oh God, what it's called? Something about the Guardians. Rise of the Guardians. Because I guess, is it a Christmas movie or it's just like all of the different holiday figures are together?
It's holidays.
It's holidays.
Plays a big part.
Yeah, we watched it on Thanksgiving last year.
I watched it all the holidays because it applies and it's a great movie.
I saw it like come up. I was like, oh, you know what? I actually really want to watch that because I haven't watched it in a while. Honestly, I think since like you showed it to me when we were in grad school. But anyway, all this is to say that I'm in the mood to watch one very bad Christmas movie. I know it's going to be very bad. And the other, a pretty good holiday movie. But that's it.
I've been told I should watch Single All the Way because it's Netflix's new gay Christmas movie.
That's not the one with Kristen Stewart, right?
No, that was last year. This one is.
There's one every year now.
The gays get a
agenda.
Christmas movie.
That's the gay agenda. We get a Christmas movie every year on Netflix.
I don't know who the actor is, but I think it's like one of the ones where it's like they're friends, but then he needs to take a +1 to something, and then.
Yes, like the wedding date type sitch. Yeah, I didn't watch the one from last year with Kristen Stewart and the woman
Dan
from
Levy and
Dan Levy's in it. Who's she in? She was in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And the newest Terminator installment. Anyway.
And
Aubrey Plaza's in it.
Aubrey Plaza. I've seen a lot of movies lately. I did see Spider-Man. Recommend. No spoilers, but recommend.
Yep. I'm going to see it with Lyle probably tomorrow or Tuesday. Probably tomorrow.
I'm seeing it sometime this coming week, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of nervous to go see it because we went to see In the Heights in theaters, and like that was a popular movie. But that came out like maybe like 2 months after like theaters were like, yeah, we're going to start letting lots of people in. But there weren't a lot of people in the theaters. But like I was literally overhearing the other day that that like this person tried to get tickets and there was like going to be a ton of people in the theater. And I was like, oh, so we're going to go see a matinee. Hopefully that's a lot less people. But then the kids are out of school already. And I was like, what the fuck? I never got out until like the 23rd. So these kids get 3 whole weeks.
Yeah. Wait, isn't that pretty typical or is it 2?
I think it's normally just like 2, but like
depends on where you are.
I guess, yeah, because like here in Florida, these kids are getting all of this week, all the week after Christmas, I think a couple days after the New Year, which is almost 3 weeks. But like we only got like a week and a half where I lived in Ohio, where like we would be done around like sometimes the 21st or 22nd, usually like the 23rd, like a day or 2 before Christmas. And that was it.
It's basically because Ohio is Mordor. So they barely give you a break. Because in Michigan, you got a longer break.
Also, though, one year we had our typical Christmas break, getting in the car, about to go to school, and I get a notification says that the school has been closed because of a water main break. And that continued for like 2 or 3 days. And that was awesome. We got 2-3 days accidental Christmas break. It's awesome.
That happened at my high school. It's always in the middle of the winter because the pipes freeze and the water expands and then the pipes break.
And you would think, being in the Midwest, they would know better, but something goes wrong every time.
You're talking about money for public schools.
True.
Hey, my school was a private school.
I was like, wait, I bougie. Do not forget that.
So that was just like someone being like, you know what? We don't need to like winterize these pipes again for the second year in a row.
That building was so old. It was decrepit. It had a freaking smokestack.
Wow.
One of your classes was chopping wood while reading Laura Ingalls Wilder books.
Anyway.
In other news, I feel like I had something else I wanted to tell the Gleeboot listeners, but what I am going to tell them is that, I went to Chinatown today and I thought of Alyssa. I felt like you would enjoy it. You should go.
Okay.
I was like, why did you think of Alyssa? Just stuff.
I can't remember what it was, but I think it was these bowls, and Rafa pointed to them and was like, Alyssa would buy these.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what did they look like?
They're like these cute little painted bowls.
Okay.
You would either buy one or make one yourself.
Yeah.
And then we went to Five Below, and I was so tempted to buy this 10-pack of Disney princess themed chapsticks. Or lip
Where's
balms.
the chapstick?
And the Cinderella one was strawberry flavored. So my favorite princess and my favorite flavor.
That makes no sense. Doesn't she have a blue dress? Wouldn't she be like blue raspberry or blueberry?
Something like that.
But she has strawberry blonde hair.
I mean, yeah.
Kind of.
But I feel like if anyone's going to get
blonde.
strawberry is like Ariel.
I think Ariel
she
was
has
cherry.
Seaweed flavor. Oh.
Yeah. They didn't have Aurora, though, so that was part of the reason I didn't get it.
I mean, Aurora seems like a very strawberry flavor to me.
But also, she's like one of the mains.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do support this. They're edging her out because they're trying to have a more diverse representation.
Yeah.
So they're having like Moana and Mulan and Pocahontas. And I'm like, that's fair. Kids should get that.
Yeah.
Well, why do we have to have a limited number of princesses?
Because if there's 10 items, there's going to be 10 princesses.
Why can't you just make like 14 items?
14. I think there's 12 official princesses, 14 if you count Anna and Elsa who aren't official princesses. And then I don't know if Raya's ever.
How are they not?
Because Frozen makes enough money on its own. It's its own brand.
Oh, right. It doesn't
Princess
need the
is
princess
kind of
brand.
a legacy for like movies that aren't like they get merchandise when they're released.
But weren't Anna and Elsa in the Wreck-It Ralph movie with the princesses?
Mm-hmm.
Disney, I think you said all you need to say.
Yeah. And
could you imagine like Moana and like Mulan or Pocahontas getting the oust because of Anna and Elsa? It's like that's overkill.
Yeah. And like, we'll see if Raya gets included. That movie
doubt it.
That movie gives me major Black Cauldron vibes, and that it's a fantasy adventure that I feel like will go under-recognized.
I still haven't seen it.
It's not that great, so I don't know if under-recognized is the right word.
It should have been a musical. That's what I'm saying. Like, when Disney movies don't have songs, it's much easier for them to go by the wayside. Because we'll see if Mirabelle from Encanto gets included, even though she's not a princess at all, but she is a heroine of a magical fairy tale musical, which was enough for Mulan.
Interesting. I also haven't seen that either.
The songs are really good.
I'm behind.
I like them better than the songs in Moana.
Ooh.
Same composer.
Honestly,
that's why I'm comparing them. Same composer.
But that's not hard to do. Moana's music is not super catchy.
And suddenly we've become a Disney podcast.
Again.
Yes, we have.
I mean, technically we are, because we're covering technically a Disney property.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I like the song that Moana sings. It's like her anthem.
Yeah.
And I like the Tamatoa song because it's weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I love it. But I don't love the rock song. It's actually really annoying. But I do like Moana. But the music.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Moana's one of the best princesses, I think.
Yeah, she's super cool.
Yeah.
They cut Pua the pig though, because
I think about that every time. I find that so fascinating that actually the pig became the protagonist.
The pig had a bigger character arc than Moana, so they cut it.
That's
Really?
so funny.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a budget thing. I did not know that's why.
They had some like character arc issues with that.
I remember listening to that every time.
And everything set up, and they were like, "We have to cut the pig. It's got too big of the character
And
arc."
it's too cute.
That's so funny. I literally think about that every time I see like the Moana poster, or like every time I watch Moana. I'm just like, that pig would have been the star of this movie.
Well, it's like, we talked about this on the podcast, how Frozen, they kept advertising Olaf and that he was not the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's how I even, like, I didn't know anything about Frozen. I actually thought it was about the snowman and the deer, the reindeer, moose, whatever he is, reindeer.
Yeah.
And then my cousin was like, "No, it's the princess movie." And I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Is Olaf a princess?"
I just remember when we showed it to my parents, my dad's simple like sentence response was, "The snowman could have been annoying, but he wasn't."
Honestly though, like I feel like that movie towed a really fine line with annoying snowman.
Majorly.
But
Olaf has grown on me, but the first time I watched it, I hated him.
I remember so little about the second movie that I have nothing to speak on in terms of how annoying he was. The only thing I remember is him recapping the story of the first movie, and I found that very profoundly not funny.
Oh, and then Disney Plus made an entire series of him doing that with different movies.
Oh,
and
to me, that is where the snowman is annoying.
Well, also he has his own short film in which the princesses are like barely in it, right? That's
Which
the 20-minute one that came for Coco.
They're in the Christmas one because...
And then they cut it by the time I got to see Coco. Yeah. I feel like we talked about this last week.
We did. We had an entire conversation about this whole topic, and we're rehashing it. We should move on.
Let's move on to rehashing season 4.
Yeah, season 4 of Glee. Okay, so we did the ballot, right? And I told Cullen and Alyssa, I texted you guys. I was like, I was reminded in the music list of events that I forgot had happened this season and I thought had happened 18 seasons ago. That's how long this season felt. And I don't know why.
It was very aimless.
Oh, so aimless. That's a really good point.
I think the virtue, I'm saying it, a virtue of Glee, a virtue of the early seasons of Glee was the competition focus.
Yes.
Didn't always work, but overall it kept the tension growing.
And it pushed us towards something.
Yeah. Yes. And the competitions were so out of focus that like, and the focus was in so many different ways. It was like we were reading a fanfic where they were trying to like include all the characters.
Yeah. Or it's like a fanfic in which like they're creating a whole new universe where like the same archetypes but different people's names.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Not great.
No. Like I forgot that Grease happened this season. I was like, what?
So did I.
That was this season.
That. Like in the Gleeboot, I would keep the protagonist, Rachel, with a dash of Marley. Like a little less sociopathic, a little kind, like because Marley is kind and supports her friends. I'd want a little more of that in Rachel, but with the same drive and ambition. So like if Rachel wasn't a total monster, but like a nice person who sometimes gets misguided, I think that's a strong protagonist. And that's who she started as, but she became crazier. So just
honestly, once Sunshine Corazon stepped on, that's when Rachel really like flipped a switch.
Yeah.
What was that? The second episode or something?
That was the first episode of
the second season.
That is a hallmark in Rachel's character development because that was the first time she did something like, I hate to say anything's unforgivable, but almost unforgivable.
Yeah, like even though it wasn't an active crack house, like who knows the kind of people that she could have encountered.
Yeah.
Or like she could have been like arrested.
It's like
yeah.
A real life example is at this church that I sometimes go to. Sometimes I have this cardinal speak, and he's like an ex-cardinal, I'm pretty sure, because he like hid child abuse. And I'm like, I don't want to take advice from you because I know we're Christian and we're supposed to say everything's forgivable, but there's some things that are really hard to forgive. And I'm like, you should just like retire to a monastery or something because I don't want to hear about how small your closet is and how good that makes you.
But I don't understand.
Because he was talking about like possessions, and I was like, you have a point. We own too much, but I don't want to hear it from you.
Yeah, it's kind of like when, like if you're someone who is like in a position of authority and doesn't, well, I guess what is considered properly reporting was a little lack in the Catholic Church. But now obviously they have like very serious protocols. So it's like, why take advice from someone who's moral? Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and so that's why, like with Rachel, like doing something that bad, it's like, yes, I can watch House of Gucci and root for a sociopathic Lady Gaga character.
Okay, but how was her accent? Was it very Russian?
It was very weird.
I love it.
Her performance, amazing. Her accent, couldn't place it.
Definitely not Italian.
But like it. For a teen show, you want your protagonist to be somewhat I hate to make every character a role model because I think that gets annoying, but to be somewhat admirable.
Yeah, because her redeeming quality is her talent. And that's not winning.
Like, I think ambition and hard work and stuff, those are all admirable traits that Rachel has. But I think it's that like Hitler was hardworking.
He was very ambitious.
Yeah.
Just gonna say that.
I'm like, so you need something. You need some of that Marley kindness to like tone Rachel to a point where you can root for her. But I think Marley didn't have enough to make her interesting.
Yeah, no, she was very boring and still continues to be very boring.
Yeah.
With the exception of like the stuff that happened with Unique later in the season, where we're just like, oh, okay, this is like a new layer.
Yeah.
Like she held like a secret.
So that's why I'm like, I get what they did with Marley or what they're trying to do with Marley, but I think a happier medium is a Rachel with a dose of Marley.
And this is only because there's only going to be 3 to 4 seasons and it ends at when they graduate.
Yeah.
So we're talking about just one person, not if we were rebooting. No, we're talking about one person.
No, I know. And then you said
and not,
we're not talking about two
people.
Yeah.
Not as if we're going to be like, yes, this is part 2 of the series in which we're split between New York and Lima. I love how you put in the ballot double the drama or twice the drama. And I was like, I don't know. This is just.
I think actually you did your math wrong because isn't it half the drama?
Yeah, that's true. And there was only some drama in each that forms a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've never said that we were good at math on this show.
So
anyway.
Yeah, let's get into the ballot. We have characters. Our first character question or bracket is least creepy graduate. Because these graduates kept going back to their alma mater, which as a high school student, you know what you always did? You always found that creepy.
Yeah, I actually like this. That is exactly what guided my pick, is that like, okay, who literally like went back the least amount of times and did the least amount of damage? And like, I see someone else picked the opposite of what I had picked, but I also agree because honestly, it was between those two people.
I'm curious now.
So let's see. Let's go to our listeners. We have 3 votes for Quinn Fabray.
All right.
2 votes for Santana Lopez.
Okay.
4 votes for Mike Chang.
Makes
1
sense.
vote for Finn. 5 for Mercedes.
All right.
These all make sense. Finn actually had a reason to be there. He was volunteering. As weird of the reason it was, he like legitimately had a reason to be there and was doing something at the school.
Yeah.
Mercedes, when she went,
it's not her fault.
Yeah. She was at least vocal coaching.
Yeah, like the story didn't want to.
So
yeah, she's taking
he doesn't
like
have any classes. Like she
she's taking classes at UCLA.
Yes, she was taking classes, but I don't know if those were still continuing the last time we saw her, because that would have been literally in the middle of a semester.
Yeah.
But I think like Mercedes wasn't like given a weird reason to be there. It was mostly like, oh, here's a convenient spot to put her. And they didn't really give her any other story elements.
And all her interactions with the students were normal.
Yeah.
Except for the time that she basically was like, you guys are here on a technicality / Marley, you have an eating disorder.
Oh, but then when she told Jake he was sexy.
Oh, yeah. So Mercedes, I don't know, girl. I don't know.
But she's
so
the
you
winner.
Don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
That was like 2 episodes ago.
Choose not to remember it. Just keep going how you're doing. Now I remember, and now I want to forget. I'm going to drink to forget.
Mercedes won. Mike Chang came in second, which he was kind of the same as Mercedes whenever he came.
Yeah.
Like they kind of were paired together.
Although for some reason, I feel like he let, like, how do I put this? Like, Mercedes, for some reason, I just imagine her having a more flexible schedule, whereas Mike is like...
Yeah, he's in dance school.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be rigorous.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Santana, because Santana was only there a couple of times. So I get it.
She came back to insert herself into Brittany's life.
That was crazy.
Multiple times.
Nutbush City Limits.
Yes.
Nutbush City Limits. And then when Sam called her and was like, hey, Brittany's like going insane.
See, that kind of made sense though.
It does.
But the first time she was just fucking with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nutbush City Limits. I forgot about that. I think I must have passed it on the list. How could I forget that one?
But then also when she's in New York, she's not like super great roommate material. Like,
yeah, but
she's high
Rachel
on
and
the
Kurt
score
deserve
for
that.
me there, just because of the
and she went through all their stuff.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she is actually literally creepy. Yeah. That's a good point.
Quinn got 3 votes, which to me makes sense. Quinn only came back once. It was Thanksgiving.
And my theory, and also the wedding.
Yeah, so but she didn't go back to the high school. She was just at the wedding.
Interesting. But also, I think the reason she doesn't get a lot of votes is because she's not there as much. So it seems like, to me, that people might be gravitating more towards like the people they actually remember coming back. Because I literally looked at this, I was like, Quinn didn't come back. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, those other things happened. Because I forgot what season that thing took place.
her talking about sleeping with her professors, and that creeped me out. So
that's interesting. That's creepy,
Yeah.
but she's not being creepy. I guess we have to define what we mean by creepy.
You did.
But
You just said least creepy graduate. You didn't say in which way they were being creepy.
That's true. That's what it says.
Yeah. So should we get to our votes?
Yes.
Well, okay. So if we're talking about Mike, then the first time he comes back, he wants to like talk to Tina. And at this point, like Tina is just like done with him, and he still like wants to like engage with her. So that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
To come back and just be like chatting up your ex.
Yeah. Who's still in high
I don't
school.
know. I guess least creepy is really the best way to put it.
Yeah.
No votes for Kurt. Obviously,
Creepy.
no votes
Kurt
for Noah Puckerman, which I can't believe you put his whole name on here.
Noah Puckerman is dating an underage girl.
Yes.
Just so everyone would know what they were doing if they voted for him.
What sin you were committing.
Yeah.
Our votes.
Yeah, no votes for Rachel. Rachel didn't come back that much. At first she did, and then eventually she didn't.
Yeah, and the reason she came back, so the first time she came back was to see Grease, right?
Yeah. No, first she came back to break up with Finn.
Oh, that happened
and then
first,
she came to see Grease, and that's it.
Yeah, so the first time she wasn't engaging with the students. She was talking to Finn and scolding him.
And she didn't really engage with them when she saw Grease.
Which is exactly why no one would be clapping for her in the classroom, because she has a freaking callback. No one cares about her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So in a way, maybe Rachel should have won. But I just can't do that.
She had two decent reasons, I guess, to come back. Although, like, they didn't need to have the Finn and Rachel conversation didn't need to happen at the school. But it did, because that's where everything happens.
I don't know, but guys. Like, you're talking only about what happens when they come back to the school. But all of these graduates have graduated and have lives elsewhere, and what they do in those lives also can be creepy, even if they're not at the school. What
does Rachel do that's creepy? I honestly cannot remember.
I don't think she does anything particularly creepy, but I'm like, you want me to vote for Rachel? Who do you think I am, Ryan Murphy? Like,
exactly, yeah. Why would I give her my vote?
Yeah. So I'm going to guess who everyone voted for. We have 2 votes for Quinn, 1 vote for Mercedes. Alyssa voted for Mercedes.
I did.
Mercedes? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought it was Mike.
Well, it was between the two. It was between the two. Okay,
interesting. Yeah, because I'm viewing it on my phone, and so the greens are really small.
Yeah. I ended up going with Mercedes because, like I said, I feel like Mike would have a much more rigorous schedule. And
yeah, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense because Brittany is there. She's an amazing dancer. She can help train them into being better dancers. They don't need someone to come back.
They don't need Amanda to come back and tell them how to dance. #Lee hates girls.
#Lee hates girls. Yep.
I've been waiting for that line since we started the podcast because I knew you would love it.
I obviously picked Quinn because I went with, who came back the least amount of times?
Yeah, she only came back to the school for Thanksgiving. And she was kind of blinded by Kitty. She did give Kitty the weird advice to wink at the judge.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That was the time that she was talking about sleeping with her professors. I hated it. I hate that
creepy
scene.
As who came back the least amount of times. That is purely how I decided this. Because again, I forgot that half of these things happened in this season. I literally was like, there's no way this is that season. Like, what?
Like, I get, because like in a way Quinn seemed the most normal. Like the time she came back was a holiday and a wedding. Like other than that, like she seemed like a normal college student.
Yeah.
I forgot about the sleeping with you, but to me that's not creepy. That's her being taken advantage of by older men.
Yeah, that's true.
That situation is creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy, but it's not her generating the creepiness.
Well,
Yeah, because it's the power dynamic situation.
There is a power dynamic there. I'm not saying it's not there, but she also had a choice, and she's an adult now. So
I don't know. I don't think she's being creepy.
I'm not blaming her.
I think
it creeps me out, and I don't. I'm not okay with it.
I think. I don't know. I feel like she is kind of like bragging about it too.
Yeah. And she's recommending other girls to do that.
Yeah, but when the king's mistress brags about sleeping with the king, she was just trying to make her way in a system that privileged his power. So yeah, they would brag about it, but at the end of the day, the king could take advantage of her because if she said no, he could behead her.
Because like, isn't one of the reasons
we're in a different world now?
No, but that's like a power dynamic. That's what I'm talking about. Like, if your professor has the power to make or break your life,
because we don't know how the situation came up. But I think the thing that I think like she doesn't have to talk about, because who's she talking about with like Santana, right?
Yeah.
I think like I don't know, maybe it's an ask for help. But I think she's saying I think she is kind of getting to that, what Cullen's saying is like she's kind of bragging about it because she's sort of like exerting this thing of like, well, I don't date like guys my age, sort of like a superiority complex.
Yeah, we create these things to make abusive situations seem appealing.
Yeah.
Society privileges older men and girls younger and younger. That's how we get the Jeffrey Epstein situation. So
Yikes.
like it's like, oh, proximity to power, like I like look at me, but at the end of the day, like he's taking advantage of her.
I mean, the whole situation is so creepy, but again, how I defined what is least creepy is how many times they came back. I guess like she seems like the most well-adjusted in terms of like when she comes back, like you said.
Yeah.
A holiday, and then, well, I don't know, her teacher's wedding. I mean, but everyone has a gross relationship with Will Schuester because he's forced it upon them.
Best new senior.
Oh boy. Okay, so I literally was like, oh yeah, new senior. That's going to be the new people. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. They're not seniors. I was like, what do you mean Sam? And then I was like, oh, words.
So among our audience, it's pretty split. The only person getting no votes is Artie. Thank God.
Shocker.
As Cassie said, I got bad vibes from Artie.
Yeah.
The winner, or let's go reverse. So we got one vote for Sugar.
All right.
Well, you know what? She
didn't do anything wrong because she didn't do anything.
That, and she was completely stripped of the bad qualities that were given to her the first time she appeared. That like she's a super bratty rich girl, and then like she has self-diagnosed Asperger's, right? Those things were stripped away from her because she does nothing. So yeah, she's palatable now.
She wanted them to do the artist for movie week,
so that we don't have to speak or sing.
Yeah, and she played Frenchie in Grease.
Terrific. Spot on casting, except that she didn't ever show her face to the audience because she was facing away from them during the number.
We got one vote for Joe Hart. That I'm shook.
It's Julia.
Big question mark in my brain. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question. He also didn't do anything. Is he still a Christian? We don't know. Oh, actually.
Yeah, because he's in the Interfaith Paintball League.
Thought that was last season. Can't remember things.
That just reminds me of one of my favorite Allyssa podcast moments when we were watching and Artie was rapping. Alyssa was like, why does Artie always do it? Just the face.
And that's why he got 0 votes.
We got 2 votes for Britney Pierce.
Britney Spears.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 votes for Tina Cohen Chang.
Makes sense.
who got more screen time this season, but at what cost?
Yeah, she had to sing Gangnam Style in full Korean.
We got
She's Chinese in the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because Asian, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The country of Asia.
The country of Asia. The singular culture of Asia.
We got 4 votes for Blaine Anderson.
Blanderson. I don't know.
He did discover his love of LARPing this season and superheroing, and I love nerdy Blaine. So.
Also, he won student body president this season.
Yeah.
And I was like, how? What? That was this season? I can't believe it. That feels like 7 years ago.
And then 5 votes for Sam Evans.
Yay, Sam!
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
He had a pretty good season.
Still don't know where he's living.
No.
Although toward the end of the season, it kind of sounded like maybe his parents were back.
Yeah.
Like it's like as if they moved back and he's not like living with Finn anymore. I don't know. Strange.
So what did we vote? All right. Hannah voted for Brittany. And then me and Allyssa voted for Sam. That's my guess.
That is wrong.
Oh my God.
Yep, that is wrong.
I voted for Brittany.
I voted for Sam.
Well,
See, I actually would have thought it was me and Allyssa that voted for Sam and you had voted for Brittany. Wow, we've shocked each other.
It was between Sam and Brittany for me.
yeah.
Yeah, like I don't see anyone else on this list that I would have voted for. Sorry, Tina. Thanks, Tina.
Thanks, Tina.
Hashtag has girls. Thanks, Tina.
Because Sam, he did well with the increased spotlight. He was no longer just someone to date. He was more of a character.
Yes.
We got to see like his inner workings, like his body dysmorphia.
We got to see him have a friendship.
Yeah.
Which I think is more telling than seeing these characters develop in a relationship, because the show is all about like the love relationships, but like seeing the Blam relationship bloom, try saying that 10 times fast, it showed a different side to both of them, which was really good. But Sam was more interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
Blaine is just kind of like, he's Blaine.
Yeah, he was a good friend.
Bad boyfriend.
I mean, yeah.
Talking about Blaine, not Sam.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Bad boyfriend.
I was like, he did like marry Brittany under
He did marry
false
Brittany.
pretenses.
But they were like, both under the same false pretenses.
That's true. Yeah, no, like Blaine, yeah, he was a bad boyfriend. And then also he was like not great with Kurt because like he might be popping the question to his ex who they dated for in high school, mind you, and then partially college. And it was like they were not dealing with long distance relationship very well. They did it for what, like 2 years, I guess?
Yeah.
So in high school, which is not enough time for children. I don't know what I'm getting at to here, but yeah, Blaine is fine.
Yeah, I don't hate Blaine, but Sam was definitely more interesting. Mm-hmm. He was a better friend. He supported people, and he was given flaws that he was allowed to learn and develop from, like the body dysmorphia.
Yeah, but then he also high-fived about, yeah.
That's the reason I didn't vote for him.
I keep forgetting that these things happened.
I do think it's interesting because Sam had body dysmorphia back in season 2 during Rocky Horror Glee show that Will gave to him, and he began to heal from it when Will was gone. and it was Blaine and Finn.
That's interesting. I think you're giving the writers too much credit.
Yeah, no, I don't think they planned it that way.
This is a headcanon.
But I remember him being like, oh my gosh, I'm so fat, because Will was like, I'm going to be the creature. And then it came back actually. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that Sam has more to chew on than Blaine. And I think like the reason I picked him over Brittany is that I don't think I liked things that were happening with Brittany this season, because I really don't remember her really being all that active this season, because she definitely got put a lot off to the side a lot, probably because we have these new characters and they chose Sam over her. So that's not really her fault though.
Yeah, Brittany is often relegated to love interest.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes happens. Blaine has pushed against it a little more this season, but Blaine sometimes suffers from like love interest problems where like he doesn't have a lot of character traits other than being in love with Kurt.
I think we saw that really rear its head and have the writers have to be like, oh shit, we need to give him something else to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So why did you pick Brittany, Alyssa? That was
probably, it was between Sam and Brittany, and then I decided not to pick Sam. It wasn't I decide to pick Brittany. It was I decide not to pick Sam because of that moment.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, like Brittany, because I remember like being the Brittany 2.0 episode was a hot mess, and I almost picked 3 as the best song because
you remembered it.
Yeah, that, because also I wanted to like pay homage to Everybody Loves Counting, but then I was like, but how would that look that I'm pretty sure that was my least favorite song in that episode. But I think I did that last year too, where like I picked a song that I thought was the worst out of that episode. But yeah, like what else was Brittany allowed to do? Because like she ran for president again and lost.
Mm-hmm. She dated Sam. She helped Marley ask Jake out. She got into MIT
genius at the end, which is kind of fun.
Are they studying her?
Either one is
either way,
interesting.
They think she's some sort of accidental genius. But join your local Glee Club, kids. It'll make you really smart.
Yeah.
That's what Glee taught me.
It is. Yeah, it was poor Brittany. I feel like there's something else I was going to say about the characters.
Artie didn't do much this season either. Like,
thank God.
I mean, did we have a storyline in which he gets legs? Like, he gets his legs fixed again?
Well,
I don't think so.
Remember he dreamed of it during the Christmas episode.
That was this Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what? What? Oh my God, okay. Well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't change anything. He's still the worst. Yeah. I'm so curious as to who picked Joe and Sugar and why.
I think I know who picked Sugar. I think Gleek of the Week did.
Oh, yes. That makes sense. That makes sense.
They love Sugar, yeah.
But Joe.
Okay, but Joe. But like Sugar
Joe
makes sense because we've heard their side of the story. I 100% agree with it. But also, why Joe? I don't know. Come forward. Tell us.
Yeah, comment.
Tell us what you saw that we didn't. We need to know. What did we miss?
All right. Best newbie. We have one vote for Kitty Wilde, the terrorist, as I put.
also realizing that her last name is Wilde, as if like she's related to Oscar Wilde. No.
Doesn't deserve that.
No.
2 votes for Ryder Lynn. Baffled. Baffled that Jake got no votes, but Ryder did.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
3 votes for Marley Rose.
What a strange last name.
And 9 votes for Unique Adams. So Unique
Makes
won.
sense.
Makes sense. Most interesting, hands down.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
it. I was like, what about these characters can I sit there and watch in a single episode and be like enthralled by? Also, like, who out of these people actually has clear stakes and stuff that we can care about? It's Unique. Like, she's the most interesting person in the group, seniors and these newbies combined. Like,
yeah, best newbie on our end, if you couldn't tell, was 100% Unique.
Unanimous.
it's like Kitty, they tried to give her something toward the end,
But it was too late by then.
yeah.
and we already talked about how it's like they conveniently used sexual assault as a way to do that.
Mhm.
But without showing her be reserved with men. Like, this is...
Yeah.
So I have problems with the way this show handled rape, but there's rape in the TV show Reign about Mary Queen of Scots. And they actually have, like, it affects her relationship with her husband. And, like, she's, like, uncomfortable with sleeping with him and him touching her, even though he isn't the one that did it.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of blames him. Like, it's complicated. But we didn't see any of that with Kitty. And that's a CW show. So a CW show can do it, Glee can do it. You know, I'm not asking too much. Like, we didn't see Kitty be like, wow, I don't know, Puck, maybe I don't want to do this at the last second.
I think the reason why we didn't get that is because she's not a main. Like, she was just going to be the bully. And then the show was like, oh, wait, we should do something with her because we're getting to the end of the season and we need people to like her next season.
People
to care about her.
The whole reason, I'm pretty sure, is because they didn't come up with this idea until after we've seen her for like the majority of the season.
The only moment in which I liked Kitty, like, before she was given some sort of 3-dimensional character, was when
was it was Left Club?
when she was like planning that weird like Left Behind thing, that big prank. It was so weird. I don't know why that was so funny to me. That was the only moment in which I was like, this girl's kind of funny. But then I thought about everything else she's ever said and done, and I was like, oh God, she's the worst.
Ryder, I can't believe
she's so boring.
I've heard him described as a mannequin, and that is how I feel. He is boring, and when he did show personality, he was a little violent.
Yeah, it's not a personality that I like. Yeah,
it's like you're eating like bland cake, and then you get to a filling, and it's more flavorful because it's dirt. But that doesn't mean it's a good flavor.
Because it's dirt.
I do not want to come over to your house for cake. Just gonna say that.
No one ever said Cullen was good at cooking.
I was out there in the garden.
Cullen baking a cake. He's like, yeah, no dirt goes in here, right? That's the filling of a cake. Yeah, I also think that like maybe there was something to the love triangle early on, where like,
oh yeah,
before we got
that happened too,
right before we got to Jake actually kind of not being like a womanizer when he like actually got with Marley, there was I sort of felt more inclined toward Ryder because he was actually being really nice to her and he seemed like he could be devoted, and that was something that clearly Marley wanted in a person. But then like Ryder, I don't know.
I think Jake is definitely more interesting than Ryder because he had character development.
Yes, because something was happening with Jake, but Ryder was just kind of left on the sidelines. And so he didn't develop until like it was convenient for the show to develop him with like struggling with like transphobic thoughts and toxic masculinity, and then revealing his sexual assault to the club. And I don't know, it was just poorly done.
I think we can blame Blake Jenner too. I think we can't just blame the writers, because everything you listed could actually make a very interesting character. A boy who seems very good and basic, and then you peel back the layers and he has problems. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what Finn was. So I think if you put this character in with an actor like Corey Monteith, he could actually be very charming.
But I also think it's just like the curse of the show as it is right now, and that they're splitting between new characters they want the audience to love and then characters that we already tolerate. So, and like storylines that we have history with, I should say, because that's really what it is. I have no history with these new kids. I don't really care for them. And I think one of the reasons why, like, I think regardless of whether or not Unique had been introduced in the previous season, I still feel like we all would have had the same answer. Like, she's still the most interesting person, the person we want to keep watching. But I think because we also still had a little bit of history with her already, I think there's probably something to that like the other newbies didn't really stand a chance.
Because Melissa Benoist, who plays Marley, is a good actor, and she played Supergirl, who is a kind of character who's known for like kind, genuine, a little more basic traits. But I love a basic bitch. I'm a basic bitch. I connect with that. And she played Supergirl like as a very interesting, like very well. She played.
Yeah, that show's probably written better in some
ways. Yeah,
but also. She's the main character of that show.
Yeah.
Marley isn't the main character. And I mean, I don't know, is she even like the main protagonist of this group? Sort of like how Rachel and Finn were the main protagonists of their group. Like,
I think they wanted her to be, but it switches halfway through to Unique.
Yeah, because I think like the real protagonist toward the end, I guess, would be partially her, but I think it's more so Ryder now.
Yeah.
Because Ryder did all that stuff for Jake, so he was being more active.
I don't know. I mean, having 5 new characters anyway is a terrible idea. Every single one of them should have been introduced the end of last season, like halfway through last season.
Yeah, like we should have been seeing them like peppered throughout, like...
Yeah, like...
Well, so most of them are sophomores, right?
Yeah.
Are there any juniors or any freshmen?
They're sophomores.
Okay, so yeah. So very easily as freshmen, we could have seen them interacting in some way. Yeah.
It's a curse. I mean, I think Teen Wolf ended up running the same problem with trying to create the second group.
100%.
It's a thing.
But Scott was still around when they had their second group. He was the glue. But yeah, no, like, I guess was Finn supposed to be the glue of this new group?
That wouldn't make any sense because he's not there half the time.
I think, and I think for a character like Marley to work, you need to give them a lot of obstacles, and eventually her obstacles were removed. Like, a kind character is interesting when kindness is difficult. But it was like Marley wasn't put in Marley just caved to Kitty. We didn't show her choosing to be kind to Kitty. Marley did something kind of dangerous by keeping Unique secret, but got no event when Unique revealed it. Marley suffered no consequences. So she just kind of floats through the story, and she doesn't really. You can't really root for her, because that's the thing is Marley is a character that on paper I should like, but I don't. Yeah,
I think you're right. It's because they're not giving us any situation in which we want to root for her, because when she's on screen, it's mostly reactionary. Like she's not really pursuing something. Cause like even the stuff with like Jake and Ryder, like she was being very passive.
Yeah. And the eating disorder
reacting.
had the potential to be interesting, but they didn't delve into the darkness and they just kind of brushed it away. They didn't show how hard that is to recover from.
And it also, I feel like we should have had way more aftermath with Kitty being like, hey, I'm the one who was taking in your dress, which caused you to have all these horrific thoughts. And like, where was all of that?
I wanted sweet, nice Marley to be like, fuck you, Kitty.
Yeah, seriously. Like we needed something like that to give her layers.
Even if Marley forgives Kitty eventually, that could actually be something very beautiful if it was actually difficult to do. Yes.
And it would be interesting.
Yeah. But as it stands, Unique was the only one with rough edges who was interesting, but whose storyline still mainly resulted from trans suffering.
Yeah.
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 So, okay, let's get into story episodes. The winner with 8 votes, Thanksgiving. What the fuck? Are you?
Hello. Turkey. Let's have a turkey lurkey time.
The song.
It's so weird. I don't even. Here's the thing. I don't remember anything else that happened during that
Gangnam Style.
That's in that episode?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Marley fainted.
You know what? You can't have. What is it?
Song, like the rest of the episode doesn't matter.
What's the phrase?
It's
like,
just that song.
You need to have something with like pain and what is it? I don't know. Something poetic. Insert poetic statement here.
Yeah, because my summary of the episode was turkey lurkey time. Let's have a Kiki happen. So does Gangnam Style. Marley faints.
Yeah, like
that's how I summarized it.
I mean, it's like you need a little pain to really understand pleasure or whatever. You know,
Marley faints is actually a pretty good way to end an episode. The way they handled it afterwards, not good.
But it was a good way to end the episode. You're right. Yeah. Coming in at number 2, the breakup, which I agree with. It was a great episode with great music and had good story stakes.
Lots of people broke up.
Yeah, that's what I described. Every couple breaks up.
Is it bad if I forgot the other one that I picked out of my episodes because I don't remember? Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Because we're doing the audience votes right now.
Yeah.
So 3rd place was Diva. Santana moves to New York. They have their millionth Diva off. I don't remember. No, this was not City Limits.
Oh.
But also,
no, really?
Wasn't Diva the Vapo Rape?
Yeah.
Guys, that was the Vapo Rape. Oh, God. Okay, guys. But maybe they love Nutbush City Limits. Because the more I say it, the more I love it.
So many things happen in these episodes, and I'm just like, I can't keep them straight.
Because we also had Sam and Santana like basically fall asleep during their sing-off.
Yes.
They're boring. This girl is mine. Checking their watch.
That's so funny.
4th place with 4 votes, we have I Do. Emily's Will at the Altar. Everyone hooks up.
I mean, I feel like it's the most understandable decision Emma has ever made. That's probably what's giving these people life.
And I think there's a lot of Quintana shippers, and this was their moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then tied for 5th place, we have Brittany 2.0. Brittany tries to hit rock bottom to stage a comeback. But the Brittany episodes are always fun. This one wasn't as good as the first one, but it was fun. I think
it's because we now understand a lot more about Britney Spears' situation. And so it made it really hard
to laugh at?
Yeah. It was like, I am not going to laugh at Britney about to shave her head in the middle of the choir room because I know the situation that Britney Spears was in that caused her to do this. And I don't find any of it funny now, which I don't think is necessarily a curse. I think it's a curse of us watching it in the future.
But maybe no one should have found it funny then, because maybe we shouldn't be making fun of people with mental issues.
That's the other thing. It's like, maybe, but I don't know, because that had happened like a while before this episode had aired. Like that was at least like 6 years, probably 5 or 6 years. So it's like, I don't know.
I didn't really find any of that episode funny because, well, I didn't know anything that happened. So,
yeah.
I mean, it didn't really hit home for me at all.
Yeah.
Tied with that episode is dynamic duets. They all dress up as superheroes. I remember liking that episode.
I don't remember.
Is that the one with
Hunter Clarington? The St. Kelly Clarkson's Dark Side.
The stupid cat?
Yeah.
Stupid cat?
He was like holding a cat.
He like strokes a cat.
Oh yeah, Dr. Evil style. Isn't that also? Is that no, Ryder and Unique singing No,
that was a Feud.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't
Dynamic
really remember.
Jake and Ryder were fighting over Marley.
Okay.
And Marley and Kitty did I've Got a Hero, thinking they could top the Fairy Godmother in Shrek 2 like the fools they are.
Yeah, really. That is the dumbest decision. Well, actually, let's be clear. The show thought they could top the Fairy Godmother in Shrek 2 by singing that. So let's be real.
Then we have 4 episodes with 2 votes each. They are Glee Actually, the Christmas special. People just loved my parents.
Yeah, that's exactly. They were actually voting for their favorite episode of Gleeboot. Yeah, it was confusing for them.
Naked, they're doing semi-nude calendar of underage boys. Rachel decides not to show her boobs. That was a decent episode.
I frankly don't remember it except for the director describing the movie that supposedly Rachel was going to be in, and then that's not what was happening.
This was the episode where Artie had body image issues, right?
And Sam.
Right, yes.
Everybody did.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was like a decent episode. Like it dealt with it. It was like it was a mid-season episode that didn't feel like filler, even though it kind of was. Like it gave storylines that were actually interesting, even though they weren't like the main storylines. I don't think I voted for it as one of my favorites though, but I remember liking it. And then also with 2 votes, we have Sweet Dreams, Rachel auditions for Funny Girl.
Interesting.
And then 2 votes for All or Nothing, Regionals and Britney Leaving.
Interesting. No one voted for Shooting Star, huh?
No one voted for Shooting Star. We have...
or Lights Out.
We have 1 vote for Lights Out.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. Someone is for that workout scene.
Oh, yeah. During Chris's butt.
Yeah. We have 1 vote for Guilty Pleasures. Sam and Blindly the Club performing Guilty Pleasure songs.
The Guilty Pleasures, I remember it being completely like weird, but not necessarily bad.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was like, it wasn't quite like the Big Brother episode where I would go back and watch it. But like if it was on TV and it was the only thing I could watch, I don't think I would be upset. I would
be like, turn the TV off.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Like, I need something to watch. This is the only channel, and it's called My Hell. And this is the episode of Glee that they're choosing to play today. You know what? I'll just sit here and watch it. I guess it's fine.
We got okay. That was a smashing recommendation. We have one vote for Swan Song. Whoopi lets Rachel win the winner showcase. Everyone blames Marley for having an eating disorder. One vote for that. I just remember our episode Chidera being like, "Oh my gosh, Whoopi, thank you." Should I do an encore, Whoopi? One role for the role you were born today. Grease auditions.
Oh my God, yeah.
One vote for Makeover. Blaine and Sam win the student body elections. Kurt and Sarah Jessica Parker give Rachel a makeover.
So weird. That's such a weird storyline that happened.
And then one episode, or one vote for the new Rachel. Rachel is tortured by Kate Hudson. We meet Marley. Kurt lurks and moves to New York.
I don't remember that episode.
So it's all across the board, essentially.
Yeah, the ones that got 0 votes were Glees. They do Grease. Kate Hudson sleeps with Brody. Sadie
Makes
Hawkins.
sense.
Tina is in love with Blaine. Puck and Kitty go to a dance together. Gross. 0 votes for Girls and Boys on Film, the movie tribute episode. 0 votes for Feud. Blaine and Sue, Will and Finn, and Ryder and Unique Feud. 0 votes for Shooting Star, the school shooting episode. 0 votes for Wonderful, the Stevie Wonder tribute episode.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see our responses. Let's see if you guys remember what you voted for. All right. We got 2 ties for the winner. Thanksgiving. I know that was Alyssa and Hannah because I did not vote for that. I know you're only voting for it.
Let's have a turkey lurkey time. And I guess Gangnam Style. You can't have pleasure without a little bit of pain.
Please, no, that is not a good philosophy. And then,
hey, for some people, you know.
Yeah, that's true. You do you. Just be consenting adults about it.
Guilty Pleasures, 2 votes. I voted for Guilty Pleasures.
Alyssa, I'm relying on you. Did you vote for that one? I think, what was Guilty Pleasures again?
We literally just talked about it.
It's the weird one. It's the weird one.
The
That
really
you said
weird,
you would let be on TV in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your whole thing.
I think I voted for that one because in that one, they sing Wham, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I voted for that because I was like, Wham.
Because Wham. Yeah, even though they call it a guilty pleasure, they still
It doesn't make any sense. None of those things are guilty pleasures, especially Spice Girls. Oh, don't even get me started. But you know what? It's that kind of like the weird choices they chose for guilty pleasures that kind of angers me. But also I'm like, but I get to listen to Spice Girls.
I had a
Wham.
very similar experience. I'm in a music league, which is there's a theme set, and then each person puts in 2 songs that they think completes the theme, and then everyone listens and votes for the ones that they think are the best. And this past theme was songs that you used to really enjoy that you now listen to and are cringy. And I had a problem because I don't listen to cringy music, you guys.
Oh my gosh, Alyssa.
Wow.
Shut the fuck up.
Alyssa has the best taste in music.
Where are your hipster
Says
glasses?
Hey, listen, I did my fucking best, but the 2 songs that I put in, like, are not cringy.
But like, you could have just picked 2 songs that you think are cringy, and you might have won.
Because that's not what the theme was. It's songs that you listened to that you thought were cringy. But when I was in high school and in middle school, and like when everyone listened to really cringy grunge emo music, I was listening to Christian music.
Something
That is cringy.
that's cringy enough.
But I don't remember.
You didn't work. You needed to go back to that Christian music and find the cringe.
I'm not putting Christian music in this music league for this group of people. It's not happening. At least I got some votes.
Because unless it was Switchfoot, it was probably cringe.
I feel like Switchfoot is also cringe.
Cringe. Yeah, sorry.
My whole
lot going on.
personality is cringe, and anyone who thinks they're not cringe is cringe.
Hey,
You're cringe. I'm cringing.
I never
We're
said
all
I'm not
cringy.
cringe. I said I didn't listen to cringy music
That's the
when I was
same
in
Well,
thing.
also, to be fair, the cringe is in the eye of the beholder.
Cringe is like beauty.
It's in the eye of the
Oh my
beholder. So if we listen to some of Alyssa's music, we might be like, but she's like, this isn't cringy. How dare you? So
I want someone
it's
to make
eye
a
of the
think piece
beholder.
about that and have the cover art be like Botticelli's The Birth of Venus, but she's like cringing as she's like on her clamshell coming
Oh
out
my
of the
God.
ocean, like
Yeah, that's cringy.
cringes in the eye of the beholder. Jezebel article.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway. What were we talking about?
Toxic was on that playlist. So
Toxic is not cringy. Toxic is.
see, I'm not the only one who had that problem.
I know I listen to some cringe music. Nickelback used to be one of my favorite bands.
Listen, I listened to Nickelback the other day on the radio because it just like happened to be on. I was like, I'm not changing the channel. And I sang along. I think it was Photograph too. Look at this graph. I think that's what I sang though the whole time. It's like, look at this graph.
We have someone voted for Makeover. Which
Not
one of you
me.
was it?
It might have been me.
Wasn't me.
I know you took the quiz today.
I did. I think I did, but it was like my last vote because I didn't know what else to vote for. I voted for 2 and I was like, I don't know what the fuck any of these are.
That's what happened to
I'm
me.
just gonna randomly choose
Yeah.
one and I chose Makeover.
Yeah, I voted for Thanksgiving and then Guilty Pleasures. And I was like, I don't know what else to pick. I still don't know which one I picked. So we'll find out. We'll narrow it down.
I know I voted for The Breakup.
That would not have been me.
I don't think I did that one either. I mean, there's only one,
Yeah.
so you voted
I did.
for it.
I voted for it because it was actually a really good episode. Good music, good storylines.
I don't remember.
We liked it. We liked it in our episode about it.
I don't think I voted for Feud, or I do. Or maybe I voted for I do. I don't know. Did either of you vote
I
for the
think
wedding episode?
I voted
Oh,
for
I think
Feud.
actually I voted for the wedding episode because of Quinn and Santana. That
So
sounds like
then,
me.
By process of elimination, I must have voted for dynamic duets.
No, wait. I voted for Dynamic Duets.
Well, then I think I voted for I do.
Yeah. Wait. So wait, no. I voted for The Breakup, Dynamic Duets, and Guilty Pleasures. Hannah voted for Thanksgiving, Guilty Pleasures. And did you vote for I Do or Feuds?
I would not have voted for Feud.
So you voted for I Do.
So then I voted
Pretty
for
sure.
Feud.
Yeah.
Feud was good. That's not a bad choice.
Yeah, I think I remember just like, I don't know. I don't know why I picked that one either. The only episode that I actually really liked, I guess, was Thanksgiving because
I have to
Not a
say,
good
though,
episode, guys.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't a good, none of these are good episodes. I really don't think so. Because like, I remember like seasons like 2 and 3, like there were episodes where I could be like, yeah, no, I liked that episode enough to say like I liked it in this.
Yeah, I actually
Like,
liked it.
This season sucked.
None of these choices are good choices.
I liked
No.
Guilty
Yeah,
Pleasures.
Cullen, none of these choices are good choices.
I liked The Breakup. I liked Guilty Pleasures, and I kind of like Dynamic Duets.
Well, you're the only
No.
one here who has like an eidetic memory, so congrats.
Yeah, I literally also like, I literally was the most recent person to take this, and I cannot remember what I voted for. That's how little I cared about the season, I think.
We're gonna be in a retirement home together, and I'm gonna be like, "Remember when we had a podcast?" You're gonna be like, "What podcast? What's Glee?" I just remember Turkey Lurkey Time.
That's the show with Turkey, Lurkey, Kiki?
And it's gonna be this depressing retirement. I don't know why I'm imagining this depressing future for us. I swear I don't normally imagine it. But we're gonna be at this like depressing nursing home like Thanksgiving. And they're gonna be like, there's no Thanksgiving songs, and Hannah's gonna be like, Blade Droughts have a turkey Lurkey Kiki.
Yeah, I'm gonna call over my home health aide and be like, excuse me, Sonny.
And he's gonna be like, all you have to do is think it. The technology is connected to your brain.
Just press this button here and it'll play. Because that's what technology is gonna be.
Yeah. All right. Best Sam line. It's all over the place here. We got, among our listeners, we have one vote for, well, you have a new friend and he's blonde. One vote for who says you can't pack a little extra. I like baby socks to make sure the sock is clean so you don't get any athlete's foot on your junk. So those were decently liked. We have 2 votes for, hey, just curious, are you going to go over to his house and straddle him while he's passed out and rub some ointment on his chest?
Deeply uncomfortable.
2 votes for what's a debate. And then we have 4 votes for I want to sit under Uranus. And 5 votes, the winner, Broga, yoga for bros.
Duh. That's what I voted for.
Same.
Yeah, I voted for, are you going to go to his house and straddle him while he passed out and rub some ointment on his chest? Because Tina did need to be called out for that.
Yeah, that...
Oh, this is what I was going to say. We're talking about characters. The problem is they'll have a Glee character do something crazy problematic, like Quinn trying to steal a baby, Tina vapor-ripping Blaine, Sam high-fiving Artie and Ryder about Ryder's sexual assault. And they don't have them learn anything meaningful from it. They don't have Quinn be like, you know what? I shouldn't have tried to steal a baby. They don't have Tina be like, I need to learn more about consent. I'm sorry, Blaine. I was in a really dark place. We don't have Sam be like, hey, I was processing things that happened to me while I was a male stripper wrong. And, you know, Ryder, I'm sorry that happened to you. And as your friend, I shouldn't have done that. I should have been more respectful. I'm sorry. Like, these characters don't learn from their shitty behavior. And it's a show about cheesy life lessons at the end of the day. So it's failing because they're not learning.
Yeah.
Like,
there are no lessons.
No. Because, like, I used to say that like Rachel was the lesson learning machine, but like that's not what this show is anymore. Like this season didn't allow any room for that because they were shoving in so many storylines about these new characters to get us to like them. They didn't have any room for that. They didn't know how to do it with these new characters.
This would not have been a fun writer's room to be in.
No.
I can see them being very stressed.
Oh, yeah. And probably dissatisfied with some of the work they have to do.
Like, if you had a color for each character, they have like 13 colors. Like, Artie's puce, remember?
Oh, God. So you're talking logistically, it would be horrible to be in.
Logistically, emotionally, mentally.
Physically, who knows?
We're doing a podcast. It's been rough. So our next question,
maybe the reason this season is so bad is because everyone had a great time and it was a huge case of groupthink.
A group being like, you know what should happen? Tina should straddle Blaine and rub ointment on his chest.
Yes. That's
so
the
Tina,
solution.
That is Flappy Bird energy.
I see no problem with this. Let's do it.
That is Flappy Bird energy. And then like 2 episodes later, they're like, hey, we should call out Tina for vapor raping. Oh my God, that's a great way to put it. Vapor rape. Put it in the script.
So
I really hope that the writers got the therapy that they need.
I know I did.
This podcast is my therapy.
So top reason to ship Blam. You can tell I made this. Our listeners are all across the board. We have 2 votes because that time Blaine helped Sam realize he was more than just his body. 2 votes for because we ship a couple bros. 3 votes for because they sang Wham and Colorful Short Shorts together. 4 votes for because we love their bi energy. And 4 votes for because Blaine cheated on Kurt with someone whose profile picture was the lighthouse.
I mean,
I think that tie is very good. That is a good tie to have.
Yeah. Let's see what we voted. All 3 different votes. I voted for because we ship a couple bros.
I voted for because we love their bi energy. More specifically, because I love Sam's bi energy, but that was the closest we had. So
I voted for because of the Wham short shorts. Love it. Love Wham. Love Blam. It rhymes with Wham. You should put an exclamation point after Blam and put it in all caps. So It's like Wham. Yeah.
Shipping Blam was one of the most fun things to do this season because it was so dry. It gave us something to do.
Yeah, I needed something to do to occupy my mind.
Yeah, they were the 2 probably most fun characters. Like, they had a fun dynamic. It was fun to see them together. So when they had storylines together, it was like, oh, this will be interesting. As opposed to, it's like, so excited for this Ryder storyline.
Love it.
All right, let's get to the music. We always get some spicy takes here. We're at Popeyes. It's so spicy.
So that dream from Popeyes.
I've never eaten a Popeyes once in my life. All right. So worst song of season 4. The fans wrote in. They said, "Let's have a Kiki turkey lurkey time." There's no other correct answer.
Dare you?
That fucking Kiki turkey song that forced SJP to do it at gunpoint. God.
You're making these up.
No, these are our responses. None season 4 songs are bangers. All of them. Okay. You're insane. So remember that Super Bass and I Still Believe mashup, which I voted for best song of the episode, but it was still oof. All or Nothing. Baby Got Back. Oh, I forgot about that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I did not forget about that. I did not.
I forgot that happened in this season. Also, what happened to Adam from Adam's Apples?
He's gone. I don't know.
Did the Yakuza get him?
He was like,
what's going on?
Kurt, I think you still love Blaine. And then he just fucks off.
Yeah, him and Kurt were supposed to do things together, right?
Didn't they literally were like, he's like, I think you're still into him. And then he's like, you know what? I'm still getting over him. Yeah, that's what's going on, but I want to move on. And then Adam's like, let me help you. Let's go see the most sappy, romanticest movie ever. And then I think that's it.
Yep.
Well,
Something Stupid. Okay.
Don't remember that song.
That was Sam and Brittany during when he lined up the Cheerios. The Cheerio snacks.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. For the streets.
Yeah, sure. I would say Gangnam Style. Rainbow Connection, because I always forget it and it ruins an episode. How dare you? I love Rainbow Connection. Maybe not the Glee version, but White Christmas that had a woman singing with Kurt lip syncing. What the fuck? I didn't know that.
What?
Interesting.
No, that's not real.
That's a straight agenda.
There's no way. Don't make me listen to this song, guys. Don't make me do it.
I'm not going to do it. I think you had a cold.
Something Stupid. That got 2 votes. I'm surprised. Call Me Maybe. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite cover of that song.
Also, why did we talk about this or did I just see it on Tumblr or something? But it was like, why would they like, oh yes, we're going to try to figure out who the new Rachel is. Let's sing a song that Rachel would never sing.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what they did.
That's a Britney song.
Yeah.
Britney would sing that.
Britney.
Maybe Blaine.
Maybe Quinn. Blaine. Yeah.
The Fox. someone's mixing up their seasons, I think.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, because that did not happen yet.
Yeah. And every song that is not Let's Have a Kiki Turkey Lurkey Time.
That's what someone said. Everything that isn't that.
Yeah.
I love that person.
I love how that is the most defining feature of this season.
It definitely is, though.
Listen, let me just
if
say.
there's one thing I remember, it's that song.
It's not a good song, right? It's not like good, but it's memeable. It's memorable. Also, what the fuck? Like, what? That's why you got to pick it.
So we have Alyssa's vote, Baby Got Back, for worst song of season 4.
Baby Got Back. I can't believe nobody else, like,
I forgot.
Only one person? What?
I literally am seeing it on our ballot responses, and I was like, that was this season. Like, I told you guys, the music is what brought me back to being like, oh my God, that happened this season.
And then Hannah and I both vote for You Have More Friends Than You Know, because that song was Garbo.
Than you know. I don't even know the melody because I don't think there actually was a melody. I think it's just random notes strung together, which I guess is a melody, but
I tried to listen to it before we watched the episode and I was like, I can't finish this. This is that bad.
I think I fast forwarded through it, or I was too stunned to grab the remote. I don't remember which.
It was so bad because I was like,
and that was the one that was written by the people who wrote Frozen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
good,
like,
good to know.
So we know they can write a good song.
They wrote quite a few of them.
Yeah. All right.
You don't always strike gold.
Best songs of season 4. I know I forgot one that I wrote it down because I couldn't think of a third one, and then I thought of it in my car right here. So controversial, but Little Girls by Sue Sylvester, Give Me More.
Definitely controversial.
And Little Girls by Sue Sylvester.
Wow, controversial.
Yeah.
I never listened to any Glee songs after season 2 that weren't Christmas. So obviously Jingle Bell Rock, then White Christmas, then Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I will take no notes.
It's a perfect answer.
Call Me Maybe, Give Your Heart a Break, Blow Me One Last Kiss.
I mean, all three of those are banger songs, and I think the covers are fine.
Yeah.
Like, they're fine. They sound like the original. Great.
Homeward Bound / Home, The Scientist. I know this is that person. I can't remember your name, but you comment and I talk with you on social media sometimes. So I know this is your favorite Glee song, Homeward Bound / Home, The Scientist.
Oh yeah. Wasn't that one that they were like, you need to give it a second try, like a second listen? Okay. I promise I'll do that. I'm not convinced yet.
The Scientist. That was a good one. That was theatrical.
I just don't like Coldplay.
Some Nights. I can't remember. I was watching a trailer and they're playing Fix You and I was like, I can't.
Oh, was that?
I saw that trailer. What is that for?
It's a love movie.
Yes.
I can't remember the title.
Is it?
It's like Zach and Mimi make a porno or something. It's not that. It's not that.
I was like that movie's sold.
It's in front of West Side Story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll go see that movie too.
So, and then Best Cut Song, Dancing on My Own by Britney Spears.
I don't remember any of those songs.
Well, Dancing on My Own was cut.
Well, that would explain one.
The Scientist was doing the breakup episode. They're all in black, and they're singing about breaking up. And we get flashbacks to Alyssa's not even.
I can't.
She's like, I can't.
It's not there.
It's not gonna happen.
Call Me Maybe. Bye Bye Bye. I Want It That Way. We Will Rock You.
Oh, hot take. We Will Rock You.
But the Bye Bye Bye. I Want It That Way mashup. That was a good mashup.
I didn't end up putting that on there, but I almost did, because it was one of those where like it somewhat elevated the originals.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I support that.
Womanizer, Barely Breathing, Don't Speak. Barely Breathing and Don't Speak were both really good.
Don't Speak was in this season. Oh my God. Yeah, that's good. It's is it Rachel and Brody, right?
No, it's Blaine, Kurt, Rachel, and Finn. It's the breakup.
Is it Finn? Really?
Yeah.
There's picturing
Barely
Brody.
Breathing is Finn and Blaine.
Yes. Oh, Barely Breathing's good.
Yeah.
I like that song. I remember it being okay. I am barely breathing.
Turkey Lurkey, Let's Have a Kiki, Sue Me.
I will not sue you. I will support you in court.
Nutbush City Limits. I will sue them.
I might not help you in court.
I
cannot be a character witness.
To Love You More and Teenage Dream. Oh, I forgot the
that's right.
Teenage Dream.
Yeah.
Or not acapella, but piano.
The piano.
Acoustic.
I can't believe that was this season. That feels like 5 seasons ago. Oh my God.
Your song, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, Call Me Maybe.
Signed, Sealed, Delivered was the one that
Kitty sang.
Kitty did, right?
Yeah.
And it was like very on the nose. Contextually, not great. But I think the cover was probably okay.
The Scientist.
Wow, lots of people love The Scientist.
Love Song. I forgot about that one. I did like that one. Nutbush City Limits.
You know what? I feel like if it wasn't called Nutbush, it might be better. But you know what? That's where Tina Turner set the song. She has every right to do that.
Chasing Pavements. I like that cover. Yeah, I forgot about that one. It's pretty good. Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend / Material Girl.
Which I think we decided doesn't count as like an original. Yeah, because it was a ripoff, right? It wasn't like an original mashup. So they cheated.
The Scientist.
Yeah.
I think people really like the emotional gravity that came along with that song then. That's probably what people are remembering, which makes sense.
Hopelessly Devoted to You.
I almost voted for that because I like that song. And I think Blaine sings it, right?
Yeah. And then in all caps, Let's Have a Kiki Turkey Lurkey Time. The best song of all Glee, the winner of My Glacket. Shout out to Glee of the Week podcast. It's on all my playlist.
Boom, boom. It should be on every playlist. Even your non-Glee playlist. I love that.
Your Christmas playlist, your Halloween playlist, your workout
Thanksgiving playlist, obviously. Thanksgiving playlist is just that song repeated constantly.
Oh boy.
So best 3 songs of season 4. Blow Me One Last Kiss, Let's Have a Kiki Turkey Lurkey, Clarity.
That was me.
Yeah.
I'm doing mine last because I'm changing it. Because I remember
I really hope you're changing one of them that I see.
Let's have
I understand. Okay, we'll talk about it. I want you to give the answer that's here, and then I'm going to explain something, and then you can go.
Let's Have a Kiki Turkey Lurkey Time. Bitches back / dress you up. There are worse things I could do. That's Hannah.
That is me. It's me.
Mine is All or Nothing. Wake Me Up Before You Go. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I forgot.
Now, I understand that All or Nothing is sentimental to you, but also Cullen.
It's a good song.
It's not a good song. I'm so sorry, but it's not. Unless you're talking about the O-Town Slapper ballad, then yes, it's a good song.
I had a dream that we were recording this podcast and you were like, guess what? I just found out that Cord Overstreet was in O-Town.
It wasn't Ashley Parker Angel. It was Cord Overstreet. It was Cord Overstreet standing on top of another kid in an Ashley Parker Angel suit.
I forgot how much I loved Barely Breathing and Don't Speak, Those were both really good. And Love Song was also really good.
Are you changing all three of yours?
No, I'm just saying that these, I put Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas because I couldn't think of a third one. And I'm like, it could have been one of those. Or even when Rachel sang Torn.
Yeah, Torn was good too. I almost picked that.
But All or Nothing is the one I go back to the most. And then I enjoyed Wake Me Up Before You Go like visually the most.
Yeah. But also like thinking about it, and it could just be because this is my first time watching season 4 all the way through, but like there aren't songs that I would be like, I would listen to the Glee version of that. Not that I would for any of them, except for Dream On, better than the original. Like there's nothing from the season that I would be like, oh, you know what? I want to listen to like Marley sing Chasing Pavements. Like I wouldn't want to seek these out. Like really any of them.
I do like Blow Me One Last Kiss. That cover is really good.
It's a good cover, yeah.
Because Unique and Marley's voices go so well together.
Because they went really well together in Locked Out of Heaven, but Blow Me One Last Kiss was better.
And Locked Out of Heaven is uncomfortable to hear 15, 16-year-olds sing.
Yeah.
But the other one's fine. Blow Me One Last Kiss, sure.
Yeah. So that is the end.
That's the ballot, friends.
That's the ballot. That is the end of our coverage of season 4.
Thank God.
We talked about this in our All or Nothing episode, how we feel about the season. I think I put it below. I did season 2, 3, 1, 4. And I think Hannah had the same, but Alyssa put season 3 below season 4. Do you still stand by that?
I don't remember what I put.
I think you said that
did I do
4 was better than 3.
4, 3, 1?
You did
2, 1,
2, 4.
2, 1, 4, 3.
Yeah, 2, 1, 4, 3.
I don't know. I might change it now. It's hard because I don't remember what happened in season 3 either.
Yeah, I think 4 is the worst. Like having to go through the episodes, I was like, I have no idea what I hated the most. And how do I even pick between these episodes? Like, which is like the best?
Blah.
It was like it was a filler season.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but that doesn't mean it was good. Like I was expecting it to be a little more bonkers than it was. But I'm like, if it was more bonkers, it would have been a little more entertaining.
That's the thing, is that I think that's why we like season 2 so much, is because it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not like crazy in that like Quinn tries to steal a baby crazy. It's like it's peak Glee, like you keep saying. Like it really, which is interesting because like a sophomore season to peak, like I usually feel like sophomore seasons are worse than the first seasons in a lot of shows, but like season 2 found its rhythm.
Yeah, and we had like the Kurt bullying stuff, which was like very touching. We had like I remember like the Valentine's Day episode, and we had them going to New York and it being this kind of fantasy New York. And that New York was so much more interesting than like this boring ass New York than they're in right now, where Kurt and Rachel get whatever they want.
Yeah.
But it's a real fantasy instead of like, oh, they get to sing on a Wicked stage and imagine. I wanted them to be faced with the harsh reality, but even the harsh reality of Cassandra July ended up helping Rachel.
And it ended up not being purposeful because she's like, oh, I'm actually secretly really nice and supportive. And it's like, that's it.
Like the hard stuff was that your boyfriend was a sex worker and he didn't tell you, but she didn't get an STD from it. I'm not saying all sex workers have STDs, but I'm saying like that's something bad that could happen if you have a sexual partner who's not communicating about their sexual behavior.
Exactly. But then also like the show completely condemns sex work.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna go with 2, 1, 3, 4.
Same.
Because there are a lot of moments in season 1 that I think give a really good foundation for season 2 and then I guess 3. That like there are episodes. Honestly, I would rather go back and watch Acapellas than watch any baby stealing garbage in season 3. Like, I would rather put myself through Acapellas.
That's saying a lot. I don't know if I could say that. I don't know if
think I would rather do that.
Acapellas. Because at least it's not assassinating a character that we want to root for. Because, like, Acapellas is assassinating Will's character, but, like, fuck Will already.
Yeah.
So we're like, it's fine. But, like, Quinn trying to steal a baby is ruining a character that, like, we want to like.
Okay, so I don't even know what an equivalency would be, but, like, I don't know. Like, there's more things that are going to be entertaining to me. Because, like, that's easy to make fun of, maybe. Like, it's easy to make fun of Acapellas. But it's hard to make fun of the character assassination. It's hard to make fun of Puck getting with Shelby. Those kinds of things. Because it's, I don't know.
It's icky.
Because it's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, Acapellas, there's fun things about it to make fun of. Not that it's like fun good, but like, remember Henri where he didn't have thumbs anymore? Remember that guy? Whatever happened to him? I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss Ken Tanaka.
Do you?
Yeah. He honestly, I don't know. Anyway, one thing I want to ask is, or I guess say, is Coach Beast very much in a state of limbo in this season? Didn't see her a lot. And we just like randomly would get her in convenient spots. Sue has not come back to school. She's going to have to come back. There's like no way that she's just not going to become Coach Sue again. I don't see that not happening. Who else do we have like loose ends that we want addressed in season 5?
What's happening with Becky? She brought a gun to school.
Becky. Yep.
And not because she actually wanted to like hurt people, is because she literally was like, I'm terrified. Like, I'm scared. Like, something is seriously going on with her. No idea what's happening to her. No idea where she went. So is that how Sue's going to be reinstated? Because I don't think she should be reinstated for that. Like, oh, well, I guess you didn't actually bring the gun to school. You helped diffuse the situation.
I don't know. Will they reinstate her?
But that's what I'm saying is like,
I don't know. They managed already to integrate her without reinstating her.
I don't understand how they could keep her around if she's not going to be somewhat involved in the school.
They kept around all of the seniors.
But it was so
That's
awkward.
Different.
Well,
yeah,
I'm not saying that it's going to be a good choice. I'm saying that it could happen, that they will just keep her around and she won't be part of the school anymore.
I don't know. I don't know how they would be able to do that. Who else? Finn, I wonder what they're going to do in the early part of the season before his character is killed off. Because I don't know when that episode is. I don't know how early or late into the season it is. So I wonder if they're going to have any sort of like writing excuse for that, because they didn't in the last part of the season.
There are so many random loose ends that just like, I think are just done. Like, they're just never coming back.
Well, and also we have to consider that where's the timeline going to start?
Yeah.
How is it going to end? What's going to happen? Are they going to sing It's Summertime from High School Musical 2. What's going to happen? They're not going to sing that song because Disney owns it at that point. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just going to say I'm not excited for season 5. But I'm excited that we're closer to the end.
Is it at least shorter?
It's 20
Barely.
episodes.
It's 2 episodes shorter than this season. But what's funny is that this season is the shortest of the first 4, right? And it is the longest in terms of my suffering. That's how it feels.
Well, all the first 4 seasons are all 22 episodes.
I thought season 2 and 3 was 23.
No, I mean, typically a network show is 22 episodes.
I thought it was 23. Well, this one felt way longer.
Yes.
But it took up less time in a year, like a school year, which is strange. Maybe that's why, because they're just like, well, no, because they're moving at like the same speed relatively until like the last few episodes. It's just like, oh, wait, why isn't regionals happening? Why is it still Tuesday?
Yeah.
You guys have changed your clothes and said that Tuesday was yesterday. I don't know.
I've since given up trying to figure out the timeline of Glee.
Yeah, it's only getting worse, guys. That's all I can tell you.
I don't understand. That's all I have to say, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything we're looking forward to? Like things that we want to see?
I kind of want to see where they go with Unique.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like the catfishing thing is over. I mean, they're probably never going to bring that up again.
Mm-hmm. I'm just interested in her as a character, so.
Will they ever give her proper spotlight? Probably not.
I want to see what happens with Tina.
Oh yeah. Are these kids going to apply for college, or are they all just going to stay in the high school forever? Because remember, like last season, that's all that we cared about with Rachel and Kurt was where they're going to college.
Yeah.
Wonder what Ryder's going to do. I wonder what excuse they're going to give before he inevitably comes back to the group. Like, there's no way they're just going to be like, yeah, he's just going to hang out in the school. Unless he's become a bully. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Like Ryder's the bully and Kitty's in the Glee Club.
Yeah. That might be interesting. I don't know. I literally don't know anything that happens after this. And I barely knew it was happening. Yeah. Like, I'm literally blinded by the light.
I will say this. You will, by the end of this season, you will yet again be wondering, what show are you watching? Even more so than in the past.
Oh boy.
Great. Love that. Love that from my psyche.
So much fun.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to season 4. It's been a blast. I love doing this podcast. As much as we complain about the show,
yeah,
it's something fun to do. And I
love to complain.
And I love being a part of your commute or your workout or your laundry or whatever you do when you're listening to Gleeboot. I love that we get to be a part of your lives. So keep listening. We appreciate the people who have stayed on even when most people stopped watching Glee. And we're going to take a little break after this for a few weeks, enjoy the holidays, and then we'll be back in late January. We'll start releasing episodes again, late January, early February, and we'll be talking about season 5. We have some exciting guests coming up, some more Glee podcasts, I think.
Yay.
So your faves might be appearing on Gleeboot. We'll see.
And keep reaching out to us on social media. We love to get messages from you guys, and we definitely want to hear from anyone who filled out the ballot. Let us know why you made some of those choices.
Why
love to just why Joe? Specifically that person. Please come forward. tell us what we missed. Like literally, like what did we miss? What is it about him? Yeah, but you can do all of that. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. We are at Gleeboot Pod. You can also find us on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at your boy Ryan99 and YouTube at your boy Ryan.
You can follow me at a.m.swearingen on Instagram.
Yay.
Hey, thanks for listening.
Really quick, Alyssa, are you going to show off your Christmas presents that you were making for some friends on your Instagram?
I will when they're finished.
Right.
But those have been put on hold until mid-January because I've been off way more than I could chew.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. Well, I'm excited to see that.
They've gone from Christmas gifts to New Year's gifts.
There you go. Do it for Valentine's Day. You know what?
Yeah,
Happy Easter, guys.
Holidays, everyone, just, it is Saturday. Happy Saturday.
Every day is a holiday. All right.
Thanks for listening to season 4, guys. Bye.
Bye.